Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. Please do say hello in the chat. That's the only way I know who's in the room. YM is flat. Let's see. Looks like we could be about to get along right into the 50. It looks like. And there it is, and it did trigger in. And there's a chance to get in sync if you didn't get in initially. So 9:52 it looks like. And soybeans. If you had your order all ready to go, probably went too fast. 2 seconds, it was already at target 1. So I will assume that was a no trade. Good morning, Miles. And a full stop out on the YM to start off the morning. Unfortunately, crude had an interesting start this morning. This trade occurred 7 minutes in. Our trade was just a little bit too early to catch. And it actually set up about 10 seconds before our start time. That green bar ended 5 seconds before start, and it hit money management just after our start time. So no trade there. That's this blue trade here. Now if we come back up to green trade, that trade triggered in, and unfortunately it was just touched the stop. It was a 20 tick risk. Surely on the trade plan, it's a loss. If you waited for it to at least test the $80 mark again before entering that, because it was just 5 ticks above the 20 EMA. And that's what I did. I waited for it to test the $80 mark before I put in an order. I did put in a get in sync order, but it never came back down to it before it touching the stop. So that trade I was able to avoid. If you didn't, you were down 40 on 2 positions or 20 on 1. So then you pick up this second short after it puts in a second pivot. This one at 80.12, the first one at 80.10. So that's a nice double top, and this time the entry is below the 20 SMA. So entry at 79.88, targets at 70 and 60 for 18 and 28. If you're trading single position to the target 1, You're still down 2 ticks. Targets 1, fixed to targets 1 and 2. You're up 6 ticks, 18 and 28, giving you 46. And after the 40, if you took the initial trade, that's a 40 tick loss, so you're 6 ticks positive. And POQ, if you traded target 1 or target 2 and trail, you're positive. The trailer came all the way down. It's still trailing. The trailer is at 51, and that will be a POQ trade. So the only situation that wouldn't be POQ is a single position to target 1, assuming you had taken that first trade. Unleaded gas. This is a trade off of the 200 EMA, this magenta trade. So that is a diamond setup from the diamond level. That can be drawn in very easily, as we've showed numerous times before on Spotlight. There again, that one came in 5 seconds before, but it definitely gave us a good sync. And it should definitely have been in that trade if you're trading unleaded gas. Giving you 86 ticks to target 2, 55 to target 1. And it looks like it got just a bit. 31.44 was where it stopped out. Target 2 was at 37, so 93 ticks on the trailer. So that's probably a $600, probably $700 trade. 2 positions, target 2 and trail. So very successful on unleaded this morning. And it looks like we have a long now on soybeans that's hit all 3 targets and then trailed to 78.50, and that is a POQ there. It was a chase, but definitely got in sync. And a quick one and done there. So one and done on unleaded, one and done on soybeans. YM took a hard down move with no trades, and now we had an up. It looks like that actually is going to be a POQ trade. I missed that one as we were looking at the crude oil. 18 to target 1, 28 to target 2. That's probably where I would have gone. That's a small trade, but made management and did hit target 2 for 28 ticks plus 1 on the trail, 29 ticks, and out with $145, not on 2 positions, target 2 and trail. Not a huge winner, but a winner nonetheless. And that would be, oh, ouch. For those that trading on a single position to target 1, that is your 3rd trade of the crude oil session. And it's taking heat, just barely missing money management, which would have given you POQ. Well, actually, it wouldn't have given you POQ. You'd still been 1 tick negative, but it's the last trade of the session, and it's a full stop out. Just stopping out now. Heating oil picking up its first trade. I believe that just hit. Yeah, that just hit money management. So 49.23. And stopping out on the way with the up bar. Also, we have a get in sync trade on the pound Aussie. That was a trade back at 7:11 this morning, but our 8:30 start time is back here, and so we are in sync with that and long. Unleaded looking like it's doing quite well this morning. Pound Aussie resetting at second high, barely there at 54.8, 89548 on my chart. This is Awanda data and plotting the bid price on Awanda. Money management is sitting at 57.2. It needs to pick up another 9 ticks. No, I'm sorry, another 3, not 9 ticks, 3, actually 2.2, no, 2.5 pips is all we need for money management. And if you round that to whole pips, it would just be 57. And setting a new high at 55.2. Continuing to push. And pushing up a little bit more. A second short on heating oil. $56.5, just 7 ticks from break even, or from your money management level. I don't want to get too brave with this one, but the balance line has already come through the entry, so I think that's close enough. I would protect what I've got going, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to bring my stop up to 1 tick above to my break even plus 1. So that would be 89.42. And see how that plays out. And there is money management and target 1. So that will be a POQ trade on the pound Aussie this morning. And it looks like the stops moved all the way up to 89.44. Full stop out on the second short on heating oil. We have a third short pending but has not triggered. And the YM is not being kind to us, it doesn't look like. Very much a trending lower day. Heating oil picking up a long trade, triggering in but taking heat. YM picked up a long for a stop out and a short. Stop and reverse back to long, which also was a stop out. So not a good morning on the YM. Three full stop outs and a stop and reverse. And trailing stop on pound Aussie moves up to 89.47. And yet another long. That's the third attempt at reversal. In the long at this point on heating oil. And ouch. There is a fourth full stop out on the YM as it sets a new session low again. Trending day and those long trades don't have a high success rate. But looks like it's flattening out. We may be able to get a reversing trade here before too long that's successful. Our next one would be the fourth one in the sequence. So the odds are getting better. But it's going to take a monster trade to get us positive after that start today. So far, we haven't got a trade there. There's another long. I was going to say that it's closed above the balance line, and that just triggered in. That's one I think I would adjust above the 20 SMA, but it still triggered in. And money management achieved and target one. How big was target one? Actually, that's right. We were POQ on the YM, weren't we? Yep. Picked up that one quick trade early. Not big, but enough to get us done, and it's a good thing, it looks like. There's targets 1 and 2, 19 and 30, so that would be another probably target 2. That you'd have been looking for. Targets 3 and 4. Now I think we're going positive. And the heating oil trade stopped out, as did the pound Aussie. So the pound Aussie is done. That is a POQ trade. Target 1 and a partial on the trailer for the remaining positions. 6 pips, so that at least covered the spread plus a little bit. Eighteen pips at target 1. 3 pips spread, and probably so roughly 3 pips times 4. The other 4 positions are 12 pips. So you picked up 30 pips on that trade. Not terrible, not great either, but a positive nonetheless. Good morning, Pamela. So, looks like we are pretty well done. Got the 10 a.m. crude session coming up in about 5 minutes. And I'll stick around to watch that. And for the second day in a row, the micro ES in a strong trade that was too early to catch. Yesterday started off at 7.15 and just went way down. That was a monster trade yesterday morning. Just too early to get into, and this one the same. This one set up at 8:40 this morning Eastern, which would be 7:40 exchange time. So that's still 55 minutes before our start time at 8:35 Central, 9:35 Eastern. Unleaded was running fairly well this morning. Let's see what Catapult did on unleaded. $8.45. Full stop out on the long. That's one to adjust around the 50 to avoid. Actually, that didn't ever trigger in. So it was avoided anyway. Then you have a long that went to break even. And another second break even. Break even on the side. Then you pick up a short that was a full stop, a long that was a full stop. Not a great morning so far. Then you pick up a short, gets you a target 3, a nice trailer. May or may not have been enough for power quitting, but would have been enough maximum trades. So kind of iffy on unleaded. Just couldn't stay in the trades, or the long side trades that were successful on the Spotlight unleaded chart. Any questions this morning? Give me something to work with here. It looks like the YM's got another successful long trade going. Oh, yes. There's targets 1 and 2 again. That is trade number 7, so that is not a trade plan trade. The first long was a trade plan. The previous long was, because that was trade number 6. And we have a potential short trade on crude oil, but it's not valid yet. That's a small trade, 78.99, and we've been up to 80.12 this session. So in the last hour, we dropped over $1. gone from working around the $80 level down to the $79 level. Is there anything on bean oil to look at this morning? Yeah, it looks like a break-even short. That's a one and done trade plan. Now got a long there, so we'll check back in on that. And it's now 10 o'clock. So order should be in at 78.99. There's two closest above the balance line, so that cancels the setup and also closed above the stop and set up a long trade that triggered in right as it went. Uh, 12 seconds on the bar, but that was at least print on my chart too fast to pick up. So I will continue looking for trades. If you're able to get in that trade, targets 1 and 2, that will be a POQ for the 10 a.m. session if you were able to trade that. $12 and 19, so that's another 31 ticks from crude oil this morning. Anything else anybody wants to look at this morning? Have to wait for that crude oil trade to play out before looking at something else. YM definitely getting active. And now we've got a long that's hit the fixed target to hit our target 3 on heating oil. And this is the third successful long trade on the YM, with one failed short in right before this one. Starting to trail 14 EMA now on the heating oil. Crude taking it up, definite upward turn. There's target 4. See if crude's going to go back up through 79.50. The 9 a.m. session went through a full dollar swing. We've gotten a 50-cent swing in the 10 a.m. session. Are we going to get the dollar swing the other back to upside again? All right. 2.5009 for the Top on heating oil. Crude still working in the 79, currently at 79.42, still working to try to push up through 79.50. But it's definitely taking heating oil and unleaded with it. Squeeze zone filter filtering out the short on the YM. The 200 EMA is well up above where that level with the strong downward trend this morning. Yeah. There you go. It looked like it could be just some consolidation after the big downward move. So we'll have to see where that goes later today. All right. So things look like they're kind of slowing down so far right now. It doesn't mean they won't pick up again later, but for the moment, anyway, I would say it's time to call it a morning. Unless there are questions. Oh, I remember something that came up yesterday. Don Parker, if you're in here, I we are planning for me to do a session on Unirenko on Ninja Trader for the Catapult Russell boot camp in a couple of weeks, and that Noonster. Looks like we did hit trail start on the bean oil long. All right. Yeah. So I remembered you asking about that yesterday, and Troy didn't mention he and I were actually talking on Slack at just about that time about doing that session, or me doing a Trader session during that time, and I mentioned I would get Unirenko set up, and so we could go through some of that. I know he's been using the custom Renko bars on TradeStation, and we obviously will need Unirenko to follow along with that, since NinjaTrader doesn't have that particular doesn't have a custom Renko bar. It only has a standard Renko bar that's, you know, zero offset and 2x reversal. You pick the brick size, it's zero offset and two brick reversal. All right, folks. I don't see any questions, and Crude isn't making any moves to end this trade, and we would be looking for an additional trade if, assuming we didn't get into the long. If you did, we're obviously POQ on this trade. 5027 for the heating oil stop now. Turning into a very nice trade. That's actually exceeded the fixed target now. So everyone have a good afternoon, and Troy will be back tomorrow for the regular Wednesday session and the crude oil inventory session. Next week, which Troy should be dark on Monday, as that is the Martin Luther King holiday, so that's a federal bank holiday. It's going to be a half day in the markets, I believe, or at least on the New York Exchange. I haven't looked at the CME schedule for futures. So we will, as we normally are for bank holidays, we will be dark on Monday. I'll be in on Tuesday. And Troy it sounds like he's going to miss next Wednesday with the 365 his presentation there. And because of the Martin Luther King holiday, the crude oil inventory report will be 11 a.m. Eastern on Thursday next week due to the Monday holiday. So watch the YouTube channel for schedules, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.